She was just a little girl with torn notebooks, sitting cross-legged under the cold glow of a flickering streetlight, writing her homework while the world hurried past her. Nobody believed she would survive hunger, rejection, and endless nights of humiliation. But years later, that same girl didn't just escape poverty, she rose so high that she now owns the very company that once provided the streetlights she studied beneath. This is not just her story, it's a reminder that resilience, kindness, and determination can rewrite even the darkest destinies. In the heart of a crowded American city, where the nights smelled of gasoline and fried food from corner stands, a little girl named Elena Martinez could always be found in the same place when the sun dipped low, right beneath the humming yellow glow of a streetlight. She was barely 10, but life had already shown her more struggle than most adults would ever know. Her family lived in a rundown apartment complex where the power had been cut off months ago because her single mother could not afford the bills. Inside their home, darkness lived. Outside, a single lamp post became her classroom, her sanctuary, her silent witness. Every evening she carried her ragged backpack and a half-broken pencil to that lamp post, ignoring the stares of strangers, ignoring the whispers of passers-by who thought she was just another poor kid wasting her time. Her knees would go numb against the cold concrete, but her mind would dance across the pages of math problems and English essays as if the world beyond poverty could be unlocked with every answer she wrote. Some nights, drunk men shouted at her, and sometimes she would hear other kids laugh as they walked by with shiny phones and fresh clothes, mocking the streetlight girl. But Elena was not ashamed. She had promised her late father, before cancer had taken him, that she would never stop learning, never stop fighting, and never stop dreaming. Her mother, exhausted from working double shifts as a cleaner, often begged her to come inside, afraid the world outside was too cruel for a little girl. But Elena would shake her head gently, smile, and whisper, "I need the light, Mama." That streetlight became her teacher, her hope, her reminder that even in the darkest nights, there was always a way forward. And though she didn't know it yet, that very lamp post would become the symbol of the greatest full-circle story of her life. As the years passed, Elena's dedication grew stronger, and so did her obstacles. High school was a battlefield of poverty and prejudice. Teachers admired her brilliance but worried about her future, classmates mocked her thrift store clothes and second-hand shoes. More than once, she considered quitting, especially on the days she went to bed hungry, clutching her empty stomach. But every morning, she reminded herself of the streetlight, the pages she had filled under its glow, and the promise she had made to herself, "I will not let poverty define me." Then, one day, her life took a turn she never expected. A local journalist, passing through her neighborhood, noticed Elena studying late at night under the lamp post and snapped a photo. The picture went viral across social media, a girl writing homework on the sidewalk under a streetlight, determination written all over her tired young face. Strangers were moved to tears. Donations poured in, scholarships were offered, and suddenly, Elena found herself at the center of a story that touched millions. Some called her an inspiration, others dismissed it as charity hype, but Elena knew the truth: nobody could give her success, it had to be earned. With the scholarship money, she entered college, majoring in electrical engineering. It wasn't an easy path. She still worked part-time jobs cleaning offices and waiting tables, still sent money home to help her mother, still felt like an outsider in a world of privileged students who drove new cars and never worried about their next meal. But Elena's fire never dimmed. She wanted to understand not just electricity, but the very systems that made lights shine across the city, the same lights that once kept her dreams alive. When professors doubted her ability, she worked harder. When exams felt impossible, she remembered the silence of the streetlight nights and pushed through. Slowly, painfully, she carved a place for herself. And deep inside, she began to wonder, what if one day she could bring power not just to her family, but to millions who still lived in darkness, just like she once did? Elena's journey from college to the real world was not smooth. Despite her qualifications, doors did not open easily. Interviews ended with polite smiles but no offers. Her accent, her background, and her lack of connection seemed to push her to the margins. But Elena was no stranger to rejection. She had built her life around resilience. When no company would hire her, she started freelancing, repairing electrical systems in small businesses and homes. Her work was precise, reliable, and honest, qualities that quickly earned her a reputation. Soon, she wasn't just fixing wires, she was designing energy-efficient systems, advising communities on solar power, and inspiring young students from disadvantaged backgrounds to pursue engineering. Slowly, opportunity met preparation. A venture capitalist, who had once seen her viral streetlight photo years earlier, offered her seed funding after hearing her passionate pitch about renewable energy for underserved neighborhoods. That was the birth of Lumen Power Solutions, a company Elena started in a cramped garage with just 2 employees and a dream bigger than the city skyline. She poured every ounce of herself into the company, working 18-hour days, facing endless failures, and at times barely keeping the business afloat. But Elena had something stronger than money. She had purpose. Lumen Power grew from small community projects to contracts with entire cities, installing solar grids, smart streetlights, and affordable energy solutions. Within a decade, Elena wasn't just running a company, she was revolutionizing an industry. Investors who once ignored her now begged for meetings. Magazines featured her as a self-made woman reshaping the future of energy. Yet, through all the success, Elena never forgot the little girl on the sidewalk. Every project Lumen Power launched, she made sure a part of the profits went to fund scholarships for children studying in the dark, just like she once did. And with every streetlight her company replaced with brighter, safer, smarter versions, she smiled to herself, remembering the nights she sat under their glow with a broken pencil and an unbreakable will. It was a crisp autumn evening when Elena, now a woman in her 30s and CEO of one of the fastest-growing energy companies in America, returned to the old neighborhood. Her driver parked near the same cracked sidewalk where she had once sat, notebooks on her lap, and tears welled in her eyes as she saw the old streetlight still standing. It looked tired now, rusty, almost ready to collapse, yet for her, it was the monument of her childhood. She stepped out of the car, walked toward it, and gently touched the pole, whispering, "Thank you for giving me light when I had none." The next week, her company announced a new initiative, Project Hope Lights. Replacing every old, failing streetlight in low-income neighborhoods with solar-powered, high-efficiency lights that would last for generations. At the launch ceremony, standing in front of the media, Elena shared her story, not with shame, but with pride. She told the world about the nights of hunger, about the cruel laughter of strangers, about her mother's sacrifices, and about the streetlight that gave her the power to dream. And then, with a trembling but triumphant smile, she declared, "I grew up studying under a streetlight because my family couldn't afford electricity. Today, I own the power company. And I promise that no child will ever have to study in the dark again." The crowd erupted in applause, but Elena's heart was with the children who would now sit under safe, bright lights, children who, like her, refused to let poverty steal their futures. Her journey had come full circle, and it wasn't just about success, it was about responsibility, legacy, and hope. She wasn't just the CEO of a power company, she was living proof that light, in all its forms, has the power to transform lives. And as the first new hope light flickered on that evening, Elena looked up at it with tears streaming down her face, knowing her story had truly illuminated the world. Elena's journey proves that no matter how dark life feels, there is always light waiting to guide you, if you don't give up. If her story touched your heart, share it today, because someone out there needs this reminder of hope. Subscribe to Kindness Vibes for more true stories that heal, inspire, and remind us that kindness and resilience can change the world.